Hello, everyone. I thought I would talk about cynicism versus romanticism and how very often they are two sides of the same coin. Because many writers start out with a sense of romanticism. In fact, according to most personality tests, I myself am a romantic at heart. Um, and I think that shows in my poetic writing, in my descriptive writing, in my love for language. However, I think one of the reasons why also my stories tend to be very dark at the same time is because there is a level of cynicism within me as well. Because as romantic writers and artists develop over time, and as they live in the world, they will often be disappointed by the world. And quite often, artists try to give love to the world, but the world does not want that love. And so over time, we can become very cynical and bitter um, towards the world and towards people because the cynic in us says, well, they almost always disappoint. Why put yourself through that? But then the romantic in us wants to believe that people can be better, that tomorrow is brighter. So there's that conflict where you have the cynic who's trying to protect your emotions, but then there's the romantic who wants to dream and believe and have hope. And it's that tension that can be that tension can be very interesting within writing, because within your writing there will often be elements of darkness and light, where you will have elements of passion in your stories, but then there will also be elements of darkness as well. It's the cynic and romantic battling, so to speak, for the artist's soul, and that tension. Again, it's a heavy burden for a writer and artist to carry because, in many ways, at least for me, I want to shed a lot of that cynicism and believe and have hope. But because life really hasn't shown me that, I cling to that cynicism, which makes, in some cases, my art darker. However, I do think that I could still maintain that darkness without the cynicism just by understanding it. But it's unfortunate that it has to bleed into my work in a way that can sometimes feel a little too personal. But again, I think a lot of artists deal with this, and I think it's very common to deal with the battle between cynicism and romanticism within our work.